Michael Brown and Tamir Rice taken away 2014 as teens. Protests, hashtags, movements, but repeated scenes. Every July 4th, they try to celebrate independence while trying to leave Black Americans independence. It's not just Black America fighting for equal rights and justice. Took Stephen Lawrence's life to alter laws, and not just this, because even with amendments, we are violated and abused. Diversity, CSR, out of many one, our message is misconstrued. Martin Luther King's life sparked an UK uproar. Many other events would come to the fore. Laquan MacDonald, Walter Scott, and Freddie Gray. The police in uniforms are the modern day KKK. Promotion of the land of the free and freedom, when really for justice we are left freedom. Sandra Bland, forced to the edge with no hope, with a system that cages you in and throws a rope. Philando Castile, Botham Jean, and Breonna Taylor, when being in your own home can be a life failure. Then Trayvon Martin was pursued, chased, then the bullet sound. It's another Black death, so system says, hey, he stood his ground. Colin took the knee, punished because this left them annoyed. Yet the same knee stance that took the life of George Floyd has a DA forgetting how to prosecute, a president promising to shoot. For those that say violence is not the answer, why is it the chosen method used by the police? How was it used in 2 world wars? Or is it just wrong when it's coming from Blacks?
Love how the place I run. The people them for live good, my youth. You know the streets, right? Sure. Jamaica make we live in peace. Yeah. Too much people are dead every day. What we need, yeah. And that we need, yeah. From your want for the crime decree. Yeah. Make we go up our knee and pray. What we need, yeah. We need, yeah. Tip Valley and jungle and link what a day. Make money, sit down and a drink what a day. Get the youth to drive them one brings what a day. And the link get sharp like a zinc what a day. Canterbury and flankers at beef what a day. The whole mobile start run sweet what a day. Tourists can walk in the street what a day. Left your door open and not sleep what a day. What a day when black are help black what a day. No Chinese boy can give we no chat what a day. Get the youth start set up shop what a day. So no school girl can get no box what a day. Cartel and ninja get bail what a day. Put you want and fresh from jail what a day. Girl them a scream and real what a day. No hypocrite can't give we no heal what a day.
Yeah, man's been through a lot, you know, blood. Me hear them chat, me hear them plot. It's simple like that. I've been through it. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. But I've been through a lot.
I say no one Zaga represent for Michelleg.
Man's been through a lot.
Stay free.
Me hear them chat, me hear them plot. It's simple like that. I've been through it. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. But I've been through a lot. Me been through the struggle, the pressure, the hustle, the pain, the downfall, the trauma, the bad luck, the shame, the wicked, the envy, the bad mind, the same, the trials, the victory, the glory, the gain, the money, the luxury, the hypeness, the fame, the girls, the sex, the love, the names, the highway, the my way, the street, the lanes, the fight, the power, the rise, the claim, the grief, the sadness, the joy, the flame, the flights, the travel, the airport, the plane, the countries, the cities, the towns, the train.
Yeah, the flexible strategy. If one thing Tony Mataran has been doing is a lot.
You know, blood. Me hear them chat, me hear them plot. Listen, it's simple like that. I've been through it. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. But I've been through a lot. Me been through the struggle, the pressure, the hustle, the pain, the downfall, the drama, the bad luck, the shame, the wicked, the envy, the bad mind, the same, the trials, the victory, the glory, the gain, the money, the luxury, the hypeness, the fame, the girls, the sex, the love, the names, the highway, the my way, the street, the lanes, the fight, the power, the rise, the claim, the grief, the sadness, the joy, the flame, the flights, the travel, the airport, the plane, the countries, the cities, the towns, the train, the storm, the wind, the snow, the rain. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. See me, them no know me, them no know me, them only see me. But I've been through a lot, kept up with the fuckery, the idiot.
Yo, Tony Mataran. Man said he's been through everything. Ladies, what we got?
Tight so. Some tight so. Man put it. Semi tight so. My pussy only let you win if it like you. Semi tight so. It not loose, not shot, not bite you. Yo! Nobody never drop out of my old girl. Tight, fat like a cinnamon roll.
Never drop out. What? What are we talking about?
So my pussy only let you win if it like you. Semi tight so. It not loose, not shot, not bite you. Yo! Nobody never drop out of my old girl. Tight, fat like a cinnamon roll. Who that I said them tight and them lock slot? Me pussy no take no bag of hair when no back shot. Nobody never drop out of my front father. God rock the pussy a tighter than your blood. Who that I said them tight and them lock slot? He good a fox dog. Hey, me pussy little than my ring size. And he grab your catchy wallet inside. Every stub glue a sweet in your ride. That body I make man a pray me for bride.
Check it out.
Nice so when you do it high so with a drip like ice. So never know the anyway, me go, you know me know fi do me thing. Whining at the dance, when I back me just a fling. Sexy when me wind up, have me to hip them a fling. Make me cool on the ice like a lick up wing. Bend me back and shake it up right there so me no care. Bump around a back so me flash and shake me ear. In a dance, me no care.
Hello, Michelle T. How you doing?
I'm good. You know, Epik, let me tell you something, right? Before we even get started, I'm already sweating and like
You need to cool it down.
Epik, you know the craziest thing is? It's today. And I'm gonna be very honest with you. It is today that I realized that you are the man behind these songs. Today's the day. Today's the day that I realized that. Like, wow, Epik, wow.
That is it.
That is it, right? That is it. Well, before we get into the show, I don't know if you saw my post today, right? And my post today says that by 2025, women will be no longer needing men. The robots are going to take over. What's your take on that? What's your take, Epik? What's your take?
I mean, I can't speak for women, but if women think that, then
Tell me, right?
So if a woman thinks a robot can fulfill her in every way, then I'm not gonna argue with that.
You ain't arguing.
Nope. I mean, I've learned from others and also from my own experience. Just let the women win.
Okay.
Nod your head and keep it going. You have a happy life.
I like Epik. I like Epik. In the words of Cyclone and Conscience.
Cyclone, right? Every girl I make it clap like strip up. Wind up your body, no matter what you're in. No beat me, big people get in ya. No go like you never ate enough. Take it up like a round of applause. Natural beauty, you don't have no flaws.
I like your take, Epik, but I feel like the people that tried to block my page today, Epik, because I posted that.
It. Who do you think tried to block it?
Immediately from it drops off. They like, I said, well, to heck with y'all. I'm posting. I'm not taking it down. It's staying right there, so because we got to be aware of what's going on around us, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this whole robot situation is really crazy right now, but it is what it is. But for the first time here on Get With The Fix, I've been talking to this man about what, 2 weeks now? We've been having conversations. Epik is on the live. Epik. First of all, tell me what Epik means. What does Epik mean?
Well, it's an acronym for entertaining people, increased in knowledge.
Ooh.
And we aim to do that with everything regarding Epik. So whether I'm DJing, whether I'm doing a radio show, whether I am, if you're wearing clothes, we want you to feel like
I'm gonna need a shirt, Epik. I'm gonna need a shirt.
I'm gonna hook you up.
Okay.
Definitely. Don't worry.
I'm gonna need a shirt.
So Epik. it's just how it's pronounced. In that same essence, but with a stronger meaning in the sense of the acronym. We try to make sure that that goes across everything that we're doing, events, music, productions, DJ, and everything. So we just want an epic lifestyle. So we always aim to entertain people, but at the same time, increase knowledge.
Yeah, I like it. Only greatness, right? Only greatness.
Yes, that is it.
Definitely only greatness. Now, you are based in the UK, right?
Yes, I am.
You're based in the UK. How often do you go to Jamaica? Like in a month's time? Like how often are you in Jamaica? Because you know things are changing in Jamaica a lot daily.
Well, I have a community event that we keep called Under the Light. It's on Christmas Day.
Oh,
so
nice.
that's that, you know. So normally I'm there every year.
Okay.
On average, I normally was there like 2 to 3 times. I mean, used to have events like Brit Jam that used to take me there every March. I used to be there summertime, and obviously for Christmas, for my community event that we are part of, we used to do every year. So I now have a sound system there. So now I'm going to even be in Jamaica even more often because that sound system, obviously, you know, it's an actual product. It's not a non-tangible thing where basically you're looking at basically promoting it on social media. You have to physically be there to keep the movement of a sound
Epik,
system.
don't start throwing shots already. It's too early in the day. It's early in the day. Epik. Now you mentioned the Christmas event. Is that a give back or that's a party?
It's so in the day it's a give back to the children and some of the families in the community. So from books, pens, and such, and then in the nighttime it's a street party in the community. Thus the name Under the Light because it's in front of a street light. You know, in front of a primary school.
Nice.
Primary school called Grandspent Primary. Some people know it as Albion School. So yeah, it's been going on for well over 20 years. I mean, it was something that as a child I was a product of in terms of growing up, partying there, playing music there, until now we have become a part of the promotions. You know, so my family members and elders I looked up to were the trendsetters in putting it together. And as much as I was a part of it, you know, we have now taken on a more hands-on approach. And then it's all about helping those that are going to take it on from there. Because I wish it's something that continues to grow from strength to strength.
I love it. Giving back, you know, is my heart. So anytime we talk about giving back, I get excited. I get excited about that. Now you are in your earlier days. Like, can we talk about your earlier days? Like, because I'm trying to figure out how you got here. Like, how did Epik get to this point in his life? Like a lot of people say that, you know, they were anointed to be artists and DJs and producers and all of these things. And how did you decide that this is the road that you want to go? Because for people that don't know, this man wears many hats, okay? Many hats. He's a DJ, he's a producer, he just everything. How did you even got to this point?
So this comes from one of the first stories I learned was about Solomon. And Solomon didn't ask so much. He asked for wisdom. And he was granted more. So in learning that story as a child, one of my first prayers when learning to pray was just to be given enough to help improve everybody, but still live a comfortable life. And I wanted to be so rounded that I could connect with everybody. So how did I get here? I guess by God answering that prayer, because I can consider myself rounded to have played for Jamaica and West Indies at youth level cricket. So rounded in sports, academically rounded, at the same time being able to connect to the streets, being able to start from music, you know, sound system in the streets, being on radio and being able to present in a way that you're also increasing people's knowledge. So yeah, I have got there through the blessings of God and through what I will be. I also say I've been blessed with great friends, great family that have been very supportive. So, you know, there's something that I have been blessed with no matter where I go in the world. I've been blessed to be around and meet people that have very, very good characteristics.
Isn't that a great thing, right? Because I always have those conversations, like, and starting doing what I do, right? I've met so many dope people that, you know, are constant, and now you're a new friend that, you know, are constantly on my phone telling me what to do, hooking me up to other people and all of those things. And a lot of times I think people miss that part of the things that we do. They miss that networking connection part of it, which helps us to get to people that I never thought I would be sitting talking to. You know what I mean? So can you talk a little bit more about those connections and the importance of making those?
So I'll start from as soon as I left the UK. So I was born here in London, and there was a major incident that happened. It shaped UK culture and laws. In 1993, a young black boy was killed called Stephen Lawrence.
Yes.
And there was racial connotations to it. And my father made the decision in that year that, you know, he's not growing his black kids in this country.
Wow.
So we moved to Jamaica the summer of that year, and I started Yalla's Primary. And when talking about that journey, the first connections I'm talking about, I'm leaving from where they sing blah, blah, black sheep. And I thought, you know, it's just a nursery rhyme, when really it was digs at my color.
Yes.
But I didn't see I didn't understand racism, or, you know, it was only when it was highlighted when my grandfather came to a play in England. I was playing Joseph in the play, and there was chants. And my grandfather used to, you know, come and record. And when he heard the chants, he was upset. And I remember the argument with my mom. He had an argument like to say, you know, you can't be growing your kids in this part of England. And, you know, because it wasn't one of the areas that had predominantly a lot of black people. I was the only black child in my class.
Wow.
So then moving to Jamaica, I'm going to a place where people are going, hey, talk, let me hear. You know, people hear the British accent. Yeah, and now you're popular. Now people like you're now popular. Everyone likes you and such. So, you know, the connections I made there, some of the people I met from my community at age 7, there's somebody that he has a track that we co-produced on this album, Polar Beats. Polar Bear is somebody I knew from my community at the age of 7. He moved to England before me, and me and him basically launched Epik within the UK. Well, you know, Epik existed prior to that. So that's one of the importance of connections, you know. So connections started from the age of the age 7. I have people that I connected with from primary school that I still connect with till this day. They're on this live. People that I've met in high school that are still strong connections. You know, I went to Kingston College. It's known to have one of the stronger alma maters. So when you think about the connections from even those school days and the things that they put in at Kingston College, it's made to be that you don't just attend the school to attend the school. The things that they teach you is basically, even after school, you're supposed to keep that network. You're supposed to help out another person, the person that's younger, the person that you were in the same year in. And I guess that kind of fit within the same approach that I had and wanted to take to life. And I've had those connections from school, from my community, and also in UK. I've gone to America. I've met people like Cyclone along the journey. And I mean, when you talk about me and Cyclone's connection, it's, you know, there's a cousin that he has that was a mutual friend of mine. And he sadly passed away to a drowning and such. And it was me, you know, we were working on music, and I was telling my story of that trauma, only for him to then tell me, you know, that's my cousin. And so sometimes the things that bring you together, you understand, you just never know. So as I said, I've been blessed to be brought together, you know, with some great people, do music with some great people. But as I said, through cricket, which is sports, through music, through poetry, which is something I've done, through performing arts, through academics, I've met some great people, and every one of them have contributed to me and contributed towards the Epik movement that I've done. So, you know, I wouldn't change it, but all of those things have shaped my path to where I am now.
Definitely. When I started the music, I played your poem, Cry of a Black Boy, is how I started today. And I don't think I've ever heard anyone put a poem on an album and put it out. why is Cry of a Black Boy so important to you? Why is that so important to you?
Well, you see, the album dropped on the 11th of October, which was commemorated as Paul Bogle Day. That's the parish I come from. He's a national hero in Jamaica. He's from St. Thomas as well. He was known as one of the freedom fighters. And one of the first poems I performed and got a gold award for at the JCDC festivals was a poem by Langston Hughes called Who But the Lord? And that is also from the Harlem age of freedom writers and freedom fighters. And it talks about police brutality and talking about God. You know, who's going to save me? Is it the Lord or the law? So, and the Cry of a Black Boy speaks about the indiscretions of police brutality, abuse of power, and, you know, some of the things that had happened in society. And I just thought I had to open it with that, because the start of my journey, before I started playing music, I started writing and performing poetry.
Nice.
So I thought that it was something I wrote and I sent as a broadcast at first, and somebody said, you need to record that.
Wow.
And I recorded it, and then I put some visuals to it. And then when I put the visuals to it, funny enough, the first person to repost it was Popcorn.
Wow.
And you later on, I'm sure we're going to get to how that's connected also with some of the press that has gone out for the album. So Popcorn was the very first person that reposted it. And there was quite a lot of artists that reposted it and said, you know, this is really touching and deep. Yeah. It was during, you know, the immediate aftermath of George Floyd. So I know that was fresh for a lot of people.
Definitely.
And I just thought it was a good way to open up. And then, as you see, the type of track, you know, that followed it up was the Tony Mataran, Been Through It.
Yeah.
Because I think that I've been through it, and I think that this black boy has been crying in many ways.
Yeah.
With how society has been to us as people and the indiscretions that we have faced.
Yeah. Let me ask this question, being that you just said that, right? Because society has this stigma on Black men doing therapy, right? And if you go to therapy, you're soft, you know, all of these other things, you know. And in this poem that you wrote, it speaks so much to the amount of trauma, for lack of a better word, the amount of trauma that Black men go through on a daily basis, whether it's in their own home, whether it's in a relationship out, you know, because people think men don't suffer in relationships. Ugh. Outside of the world, your job, doing what you do. And the stigma is that when you get therapy as a Black man, you're weak. You're basically weak. I wanted to touch on that with you because that's what came to my mind when I'm listening to this poem. Black men seeking the help that you guys will need in order to go forth and be productive for your kids, yourself, and your family. Can we talk a little bit about that?
So this smile that a lot of people see in pictures, and you're seeing a lot of it on the live, wasn't always there. So not that I could remember, but my mom tells me that I had a very, very bad temper.
Wow.
Through my lineage, I had a very horrible temper, she said. And I was at a sports game that my father was playing, and I was playing with some other kids, and I lost. You know, I really went into a tantrum, and the other kids got scared. And she was about to, you know, discipline me there publicly. And somebody, an older person, said, "Do not do that. He just has a bit of a strong personality. You need to set him aside, talk to him, and you need to find a way for him to channel those frustrations into something positive." My mom used to have me reading a lot as a child. So when she was cooking in the kitchen or seasoning or washing plates, I had to be reading. And then when she realized that, you know, that wasn't enough to preoccupy or stop me from funneling this anger, she then introduced writing.
Ooh.
So through that writing, eventually, you know, at primary school, it then came with the poetry. After doing Who But the Lord, I started channeling a lot of those frustrations and that trauma into writing. And funny enough, if I don't start writing, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna write. It can take forever, but once I write that first line, everything else just flows. I mean, I've got poetry that is sad, poetry that is, maybe talking about nature, poetry that talks about trauma, all different type of poetry. And it's because no matter how long ago something happened, and even if it didn't happen to me directly, I'm able to, sometimes I even make some praise, and it might seem as weird. I might see my friends going through something, and I just ask for it to come my way and take it away from them, family members as well. Because I just see myself as somebody that can take it on. And a lot of the times you'd never want to see any of your loved ones suffering. So I've always been that type of person that I'll be on the phone encouraging someone, talking them up of certain situations and trying to get the best. As I said, one of my first prayers was about getting the best out of people and still being able to live comfortable. I didn't want riches in return. I didn't want, fame in return. Just, if the done deal could be I live comfortable and I'm able to help, then I was very happy with that. So, I mean, in terms of trauma, I've faced my fair deal. I mean, even when doing my degree, I broke my arm in America, in Florida. In breaking my arm, there's not just a doctor, but the insurance company said they were lucky to walk away from that accident.
Wow.
And then in that same year, I broke it again, the same arm in the same place, in June in England. And this is all while doing my degree. And my journey to even return to education was very hard because I was in Jamaica. I got through to do law, age 17, and I thought, I can get the student loan. When I went up to the student loan office, they said, you only have indefinite leave to remain. You don't have citizenship in Jamaica.
Wow.
So you can't get funding.
Wow.
I didn't want to sit out a year.
Wow.
So I decided to come to England. I came to England, and then they said, you've been out of the country too long. You're considered a foreign-based student, so you need to pay overseas fees.
Wow.
And you're looking at about £15,000 per year, which would have been about 45 grand. So, I sat out a good while, and it took me years before I returned to education, only to, when I do it, I break my hand twice. And then when I was doing my master's, I lost my grandmother.
Wow.
And within 3 days of losing my grandmother, I welcomed my second son into the world. So it was like mixed emotions.
Yeah.
And that was during the time of me writing my dissertation, and I didn't want extra time, but my tutors were adamant I needed it. And I was thinking, listen, my journey's been about knockdowns, and it was like, you know what, whether you want it or not, you're going to get this extra time. And I mean, I completed it, but how I look on it is that I've been able to speak to people. There's different people for different situations. That's the next thing too. You have to understand, not that all the friends that you have are not good friends, but then there's certain things you'll understand.
Everybody serve a purpose.
Certain personal experiences. Yeah.
Everybody has
that
a
they
purpose.
Maybe,
exactly.
So when you get to understand that too, you'll get to understand that there's help available. One of my hardest things for me was to figure out how to sometimes ask for help. I think that's where a lot of Black men may fail. Yeah, we think we can do a lot of things by ourselves, and we're made to think that, we can get it all done.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's hard to find out where you need help, or, should you ask for help, because you want to be independent and you want to get things done. But I mean, sometimes your friends have to figure you out as well. If you're somebody that's not going to be asking for help, they're going to have to just be the ones that just
offer it, right?
Offer it or just do it. Because there's some people that are stubborn that are not going to say yes and accept it. So you got to, sometimes just look on it this way, like they speak about love languages in relationships, but then you also got, you got to have that in friendships as well, where somebody probably see you doing something, and instead of asking if you need help, they just join in and start, I'm already taking care of this. Before you even ask. So you got to understand your friends, and you got to understand your family and personals that you work with.
Definitely.
Your working peers. But the trauma.
That trauma part, will take you to
Yeah, I've
places
seen
that
it.
you just sit with it. Sometimes you sit with it, right? And then you're like, I'm gonna just deal with this on my own. But I have a discussion in one of my classes now with my students, and we're talking about groups, different types of groups that we're involved in, right? And to read some of it, it's like a lot of young people have different friends for different things. And sometimes all of those friends can't come together because you just have to separate people and put them in their places
Yes.
to where they belong. Unfortunately, that's how the world works. But you are also you've been a tour DJ, like let me
Yes.
read out some of these names. I'm gonna read them. Spice, Sean Paul, Pretty Ricky, Stefan Nan, OMI, Black China, Beanie Man, Sham, Shatta Wale, Shansia, and Dexter Daps, right? Just a few of them.
Yep.
How does a
Just a
DJ
few.
how does a DJ become a tour DJ? How does that work? Because I have a lot of DJ friends. So how does a DJ become a tour DJ?
Sometimes it just falls into
Wow.
place. You just sometimes opportunity. So for some of them, I just ended up playing the set before they come on stage.
Wow.
And you're playing the set and you end up getting the tracks. And for some, you're just a DJ that's been playing their music on radio for a good while. And you know how it goes. Sometimes people are putting together a show and there's budget constraints. Somebody may have a choice. You travel with your tour DJ, you travel with your road manager. And then they travel with their road manager instead because they want their business to be taken care of. And how they may look on it is, I've got Epik Jones that plays my music all the time in UK. I haven't met him yet, but I'll get Epik to play my tracks.
Okay.
So some of the situations have been situations like that where, as I said, I've been playing the last set before, and it ended up just falling in place like that, and it goes well, and you build from there. And there's been other instances where I've just been that common DJ that has been supporting that artist, and this was the artist's first opportunity, and due to budget constraints they weren't traveling with a tour DJ, and then I end up doing that show, and then I end up doing the other show, and then going to Europe, and then going to other countries and playing tracks for them. So I mean, it happens, most of the time that's how it happens. Otherwise it would be a thing where you would actually have to be in that artist camp from get-go. And to be honest, I think there's probably only only artist that I have literally taken up from scratch, where you've actually been the tour DJ from get-go and from the beginning of the startup. Most of them it's just an opportunity that falls away, and as most people would say yes and then figure it out after.
I like that advice. Because I get a lot of times where people would ask me before, like, why are you posting this artist's music? They don't even know who you are, da 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 da. And I'm like, but that's not your business. I'm not, I'm doing what I'm doing. And a lot of times from posting a song, it gets reposted in a story or whatever the case may be, because you never know who's watching and who's paying attention, right? But a lot of DJs just decide that I'm just going to play music in the club, and I'm going to post one or two things here, da, 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 and I'm going to keep it moving, not knowing that there's so many more opportunities out here for you as a DJ.
I mean, I used to world premiere songs a lot, and I mean world premiere. I know it used to get some parties or some areas upset, but I mean, a lot of popcorn songs were premiered on my radio show on Flames. Nice. It used to be called Settings Friday.
Nice.
A lot of, because at the time, Not Nice, DJ Frost, a lot of the well-known producers used to send me the tracks. Okay. Because I mean, I know how to sell, obviously what I'm doing as well. So first thing would be, all the time the premieres would be in Jamaica, but you think you're premiering it in Jamaica when the streaming platforms at the time weren't available there. Yeah. I mean, they are available now, but then they weren't available then. So then a lot of producers were thinking, when Epik Jones premieres my songs, I get a video. He posts it, he tweets it, there's a link to it and everything. And people are then they're seeing the conversions that the streams or the sales or whatever are doing well in the regions that I'm in. So then I started getting the premieres. And when you thought, one of the premieres I remember I did a premiere of Spice's song with Missy Elliott run. It wasn't officially released, but it was done for Equinox Music. When I produced it, Missy started reposted it, and then she started following me, and it reached to the stage where anything I was doing on radio, Missy was posting, until one time I think she tweeted both me and Lady Leshurr and say, "Oh, listen, I see both of you doing great things in the UK. I love both of y'all." And people were like, "Oh, yeah, pick your post. Missy post you. This, that. So just like what you said, you just never know who's paying attention. I mean, the same way Missy post me, Keisha Cole started following me, because then Missy was on a track with Keisha Cole. So all of that. So I've had Alicia Keys, I've had Maya, I've had all of them. So I mean, I ended up on the road with Pretty Ricky. When I went to Amsterdam, and that was my first time in Amsterdam, I was joining Chemist, who is Marcia Griffith's son, in your background there. Yeah. And he's a producer, and I think his father is Errol Thompson, so he's got music on both sides. And I was joining him and Brick and Lace on that tour. And by the time, Pretty Ricky were there, I think Pleasure P at the time had taken a hiatus on the group, and they were doing like their first tour since. And they were in Amsterdam. They didn't have a tour DJ. And I remember I said the opportunities. I was there to do Brick and Lace tracks. And then next thing you know, I'm playing tracks with Pretty Ricky. We're on stage doing shows. But from the moment I reached at the hotel, it was, Spectacular. There was Baby Blue and Slickum. All of them were like, Epik. And I was like,
I know me.
You guys know me. Like, this is internet. And they were like, yo, we've been waiting for you forever, man. And then, the manager, Ches, who was the manager for Brick and Lace at the time, and he was like, yo, listen, man, Epik, you're a superstar. These guys have been talking about you from even before you arrived.
Nice.
Like, they know all of your work and everything on radio. And I was like, wow. And I'm there thinking, when I'm doing radio, I was just doing radio.
Yeah.
In the London and local, but
you just never know.
I mean,
you just never know. Trust me, I'm one of those living people that just never know. You just never know. And I still get like, oh my God, why are you posting my stuff? I say it to myself, because I'll be like, wow, like the things that we think are little things, it's huge to people. It's very huge to people. Now, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, right, before we get into the popcorn conversation and then your album, I wanted to ask you, as a producer, right, I have been hearing and I've been asking the question to artists as well, where it says that, there was a post which basically says that a producer was charging a particular artist to be on a track about $5,000. And then producers are now saying that the music is theirs after the music is done, that the artists put out. What do you have to say to those conversations? And how can artists own their own music along with the producer?
Well, that's because there's a lot of different tangents to that. Now, if an artist goes in the studio and records a cappella, there's nobody to be involved in terms of ownership, because yes, your voice is an instrument. I'm just saying the simplest form would be an a cappella. Now, what you got to realize is, from the moment a beat is composed, if I put out that beat and then you record on it after, then it's a sample. You sampled because I had my instrumental out as a composition music. So if we want to get into an agreement, I'm licensing my beat to you as a vocalist that you're writing. I'm just saying that, so the music composition, if it's the first thing created and then the voice goes on after, then the idea, the intellectual property started from the composition of the beat. Unless you had vocals before, and then I've taken your vocals and put on my beat, then, unless you then write a contract to state otherwise, as I said, based on the chronological order of how the ideology of music normally how it works now, because before, there'd be probably an argument when there's session musicians and you're singing live in a rock band. But then the whole rock band has some form of control over that.
Right.
But then we had session musicians for reggae music as well. But then everybody came to the music. If the musicians weren't work for hire and their contracts didn't stipulate that, then all of them want a piece of the masters as well. And then the person who's paid for the session normally controls the masters. So
say that again. Say that part again.
This is the argument.
Say,
So
say
if
that
an
part
artist
again.
wants to,
say that part again.
So
if the
so
person
normally the person that has paid for the whole session, the studio session, would be the one that controls the masters, because normally that would be the work of the label or the work of who is really the producer of the record. Because if it's musicians, then obviously the producer isn't the one composing the beat. But producers weren't labeled based on composing beats. Producers were normally, back in the day, the person that took care of the session, the idea. I've got an idea to bring in this bass man and bring in this drummer and bring in this keyboard player and saxophonist, and this vocalist is going to sing these words. So it's their product. They're the ones that's now going to pay for it to be pressed on a record and then sell it. They control the masters. Most times that would be the label. Sometimes it was one person.
Right.
So it started from the idea of who said, let's go in the studio and record something. And that's why in normal law, copyright law, they state that the person that paid for the session, if there's no pre-agreed contract, controls the masters.
Wait.
So if you didn't pay, if you don't have that agreement that you paid for the recording session, if you go to court and you don't have any contract, that's who the judge most times is going to award as the person owning the masters.
Wow. That's deep. That's real deep. But who is teaching that? Is anybody teaching that? Like, as a producer yourself, are you going to say, well, you need a contract before I do all of this because I own all of this? Or is it like, whatever, we're in the studio, you are automatically as an artist know that if I do everything, it's mine? Is anybody having those conversations?
Well, listen, I think we're in a more collaborative phase now. So you can see that people are putting out projects, especially a lot of dancehall artists, and you'll see it released as dual. So you'll see, let's just say, an artist has a camp and they call it Winnings. And that's the artist thing. And he's linked up with a producer that's called, 10 times Genius. So you'd see a release coming out and saying 10 times, 10 times this, and then Winnings Records present. And that's the name of the record. So they're doing it joint.
Okay.
And then most likely, if you see their contracts, both of them control the masters. Because what the artist is most times doing is saying, I'm waiving my artist fee that I should be charging to record for you. And I want some control over the masters. Now, what I see can be an issue. Controlling masters, which a lot of people want to do, it's busy work. You can't. It's busy work because you can't be unreliable in terms of are always unavailable via your phone or emails and not be ready to negotiate. Some of the songs that I have had featured on Netflix, in FIFA,
Love and Hip Hop,
BBC, Love and Hip Hop, Paramount, CBS, all of these things. These are countless back and forth emails, WhatsApp groups, phone calls, negotiating. These people will try to put down the value of your work. So you're there fighting, especially in reggae dancehall world, about the value. I've been on projects before where my music is on there, and every producer from dancehall and reggae has settled for little money. And I've been the one fighting until I was advised against doing that all the time. And, I'd be the one fighting and everybody's money would go up because I was there fighting.
Nice.
And my arguments would be, I can't be on this project. And everyone thinks it's a big deal. And my kids are walking and thinking, oh, you must be rich. I saw your father's stuff on BBC. Or I saw Red Bull use it. And they're thinking, Red Bull's such a big product. But then there's nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
You're not going to put my credit on the screen. You're not going to pay me what I think I should be compensated. Like, you can't tell me what my stuff is valued because you don't know about my journey. And telling my journey and stuff and what I had to go through. And I'm not just breaking down prices in terms of bringing out receipts of studio time, artists, mixing the record and whatever. I'm talking about, how much money it cost me to put on these tours, to, how many times when I could have done something else and a family member got upset because I made a sacrifice because of this record.
Yeah.
Now you're using it. I need to make sure that there's something sufficient to make amends for all of those sacrifices I made, and it be worth my while. So a lot of the times too, people have to understand that when you do own the masters, there's that added responsibility, because you're representing not just the product, but you have to remember that those that are involved in the product are somewhat involved in the masters, or at least the publishing side. So the writers, the engineer, maybe musicians, if you're talking about something that had live musicians. So you're fighting on behalf of all of those people. This is why labels always wanted to have somewhat control, because they had departments for it. So now I get it, and I understand artists wanting to fight for it, and I understand producers wanting to get back control of it, or musicians, should I say, people that compose beats. But you have to also be prepared to at least get yourself in order. I don't want to use the term educated, but get the knowledge, get the experience, have the comfort, go to the conferences, go to read stuff, ask questions, because I will tell you this, I've asked questions from people like Ches, who have managed Brick and Lace. They've been involved in these things. I've spoken to Julian Jones, who's, managed Movado, managed Charlie Black and many other artists. I've spoken to people in the industry that, people like specialists and stuff, people that have done it. And sometimes ask for their advice. And there's sometimes what they've come back with and said, hey, just second for that. I've still gone for a bit more. And there's been sometimes when I've taken their advice, when, there's some things that they said, listen, there's a thing in America called most favored nation, which it means all parties are dealt with on a level playing field. So if there's 8 producers on the project and all of them have settled for 2,000, but they've offered me 1,000, they're not going to tell me that they offered everybody else 2,000. But if I say most favored nation, it means that you have to put me on the same level as everybody. So if they decide on this soundtrack they're going to put Jay-Z or Usher, and they're going to offer them 50,000 without arguing and being the bad person,
you're going to take the 1,000 and keep it moving and think that
it's not 1,000. The most favored nation, if they offer Usher 50, then I have to offer everybody 50. That's our most favored nation contracts, because you're not asking for the most. You're just asking not to be paid less than anyone else. So that is an approach I learned, to not always be the troublemaker, fighting and arguing. Just say, let them do what they're doing. Be with me on equal terms as everybody else.
I like that. I like that. Only if the business would run like that, though. Only if. I mean, that's how music is a whole different character of things, because again, the egos, everybody want to be richer than the artist, and all of these other things. So all of that stuff plays into all of this stuff, which sometimes it overwhelms me, because I'm like, oh my God, just pay the people what they are worth. Just pay them what they're worth, and keep it moving. Now let's talk about this album, because this album dropped on October 11th of this year, which was 2 weeks ago, a couple of days ago, 9 days ago, 8 days ago. What made you decide to put this album together? Like, why was this necessary for you to do?
Well, I had a lot of songs that I was producing and releasing as singles. And I had to think a body of work. When you put a body of work together, and it becomes like a snapshot of where you were at that time, I thought it was time with the amount of songs I had. And what I was looking at also is I've worked with a lot of established artists, or artists that can even be considered legends.
Yeah.
But then I've also worked with a lot of artists that doesn't get the, maybe the due rewards in terms of their listenership or in terms of how much support they get.
Yes, yeah.
And I thought the one way to bring it all together and give them the right platform to be heard was to put them on a body of work where, already you have your headliners. Think of it like a stage show.
Yes.
You have your headliners, they pull in the crowd. And then you have some people that you think are really good performers, but they're not going to be able to pull in the crowd. But because they're good performers, they're going to be able to entertain that crowd that you bring in. And that was the importance of putting together this album. And I think it's been able to do that, because I've seen some of those names that I said needed that local extra support. Their songs have been charting in various countries. And when I've been asking for feedback, a lot of people have been sending me either videos or, feedback in terms of writing, saying, these songs are my favorites. I didn't know about this artist. I didn't know about this artist before. So it's fulfilled what I wanted to do in that sense, in the early stages.
Definitely. Because when I was, downloading the songs today, some of them I've already had in my Serato, but some of them I didn't. I got that. I said, oh, this is what Epik did. This is exactly what he did. He put it all together and made it into this great album. And the headline from Tropic says, St. Thomas natives take top 10 shots on U.S. charts. And you were placed beside Popcorn.
Yep.
How what was that like? What was that like?
Well, I told you already.
Eruption.
When I did the Cry of a Black Boy, that was the first artist that reposted it. You understand? And Popcorn, I mean, from St. Thomas. When you talk about St. Thomas, most times people used to call it like the forgotten parish. And I think on a amplified state in terms of what Popcorn has done in terms of changing the imagery of St. Thomas, with bringing his festival Unruly Fest to St. Thomas. I mean, he even brought Drake to St. Thomas. He's done a lot of community stuff. He does a back to school treat every year in St. Thomas. And you can see that he's done like cleaning of gullies, fixing of roads in his local community. So he's done quite a lot in terms of that facet of St. Thomas. So to be there with Popcorn in the charts, it was very touching because I consider Popcorn not only in terms of what he does in the art form and as an entertainer and as a global star, but as a human being in terms of what he's done and what he has done for the community and the parish that I hold close to my heart. I think, as I said, some things are fate because we have no control over what's going to be charting. And that just happened, and it was a story that people thought was necessary to run with, and I thought as well that it was a fitting story in that sense. Two St. Thomas natives, the forgotten parish, and we're doing big things in America.
Yeah, definitely. When you look back at your younger self, right? What do you say to that person? Because you have accomplished so much, and then there's so much more to do. But right now, you've accomplished so much, probably beyond your wildest dreams. What do you look back to that young boy and say? What do you look back to him and say?
Well, there's so many things really. But first and foremost is to keep going. I mean, that younger self would have never imagined some of the things that I have achieved today. I mean, I have done everything that I would have wanted to do and more in a lot of senses. My biggest thing is legacy. And I think that in many ways I've done that. And I've showed a willingness to do things that nobody else is willing to do. When I started DJing, I was using computers. And most of Jamaica was still using vinyls and CDs. And there was a fight there because there was some sound systems that said, don't plug the computer on, it can go mash up the sound and this. The same way how our parents used to say, if you play video games on the TV, you're going to mash it up. And I had to go through that. And now you look on it, everyone uses a laptop to DJ, really. The majority of the business. I had to go through that, not only in Jamaica, but in America. And in UK. And coming to the UK, you'd have thought that technology-wise, they're more advanced and whatever, and they would have accepted it. But it was just as bad, if not worse, than Jamaica. So in terms of that younger boy and all of those different pushbacks and what he faced and what he has, what he has gone on to achieve, the cry of a black boy has become the smile of a black boy. So I am very happy, and I'm very sure if I was to go back and speak to my younger self, and that younger self was to look at the future or the present day, Epik Jones, they'll say, you've done great. and you're doing great, and to continue to do great.
I love it. I absolutely love it. How is the album doing right now? Because I know one of the major songs that you guys were pushing on it is the Spice Cool It. How is that song doing right now? Like, where are we on the charts with Cool It? Where is that at right now?
Well, I mean, the other day we hit in the America all genre charts, number 6.
Nice.
And you're talking about up there with Post Malone, Lady Gaga. It's Halloween, coming up to Halloween time. We saw Michael Jackson charting. We surpassed Michael Jackson on that chart as well. And, you know, in the reggae charts, that was number 1. And when you talk about even a remix, we finished the album with a remix of Cool It. That track has been doing ridiculous numbers in India. I mean, when you think about Chennai, Calcutta, Mumbai, all of these different cities in India, it's doing brilliant. And India, as you know, it's one of the nations, growing nations, over 1 billion population.
Yes.
I think there's so much new markets, and the great thing about this album is having multiple artists and multiple different projects who are streaming in different places. So in terms of the songs, like Cool It, as I said, I just think Cool It is one of them things that when it's cold, when we just started Cool It, promoting Cool It, people were dancing in the snow. It's coming up to cold time. Then it became a summer song where people pouring ice and cooling themselves down.
Yeah.
And if you look at the video, Spice is in cold climate. She's like dressed up like an Eskimo. Then she's in an ice bath and all of that.
Yes.
It became a slang.
Yeah.
Somebody's going on like they're too hot and they say, "Oh, just cool it down, man." And you know,
you do it too much.
A woman gets heated. They say, "Yo, you need to cool it down."
Cool.
Like, it became a thing. It was a thing, a whole slang, a whole movement, and everything. And it's there to stay in that culture, because if the time gets hot, I'm telling you, most DJs are thinking,
"Cool it.
I'm gonna play Cool It Down."
Cool it down. Cool it down.
You understand?
Definitely.
So it's one of them songs, but I'm glad about multiple songs on the project.
Yes.
If you see my background, this is Cyclone hitting 1 million streams on Spotify only. So in terms of numbers, and this is Cyclone Conscience record on the album called Make It Clap.
Mm-hmm.
The song called Drip, which was also featured on Cyclone and BSC's EP, which topped the iTunes charts in America and the UK.
Yeah.
So that has been doing well. I've seen that today. The song Drip is was number 14 in Malawi.
Nice.
So it's doing well in Africa. I have a cover song with Smoothface, who's more known as a producer, but I rate him as a vocalist, called Tonight. John Legend, he covers John Legend's song. That song has got 8.5 million streams in Brazil only.
Hold on.
Drop it.
Ain't this what you came for? Don't you wish you came more? Girl, what you playing for? Come on, let me hit that. Ooh, I know you miss that. What's wrong? Let me.
I love it. And you said that song is streaming now in Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, there's a city in Brazil, northeast, called Maceió.
Okay.
It's I have been told by multiple DJs and club promoters, it is the biggest song there.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers in that city alone, I mean, I've seen Fortaleza, I've seen Brasilia, I've seen Sao Paulo, but Maceió, the numbers there are ridiculous. But
nice.
For that particular song, for Smoothface as an artist, his top 50 cities, 46 of them are Brazilian cities.
Wow.
So that just shows you how big a hit it is in Brazil. We're now in talks actually putting together a tour in Brazil, which will be our first in that region.
Nice.
So yeah, as I said, there's multiple records that are doing multiple things.
Yeah.
Tamo J's song alone that has been charting not just in UK, I saw it in the Canadian charts recently. So I've been seeing it add to quite a few playlists in Calgary, Montreal, and Toronto. So it seems to be doing well with the Canadian people.
Hold on.
I You've had your heart broken before. True, but you act as if you're okay and there was nothing. I can see you're insecure, but to hurt is not my plan. To me, you're worth much more. But she knows just what she needs. She wants to be free, but baby, I can't be selfish. I want you for me and nobody else.
Yes. Oh my God, Angel, you took the words right out of my right out of my mouth. That song needs a video. That song needs a video.
Yeah,
That song needs
it
a
does.
video.
It will be, and it will be getting a video. I mean, that song went through so much as well. I mean, we had about 25 different drafts for the mixes before we agreed. I mean, there were so many people that were involved. At the time when we were doing it, Tama J was managed by somebody called Cara, Showtime Services. She had Lali, she had him at the time.
Yeah, okay.
Cara is known as one of the big music moguls in Jamaica now.
Yeah, yeah.
And Christopher Specialist Dylan, who basically was involved in Omi's cheerleader, and he used to manage Shabba Ranks. He was involved in, kind of giving feedback on what he thought on the track. There was Mikey Bennett, one of Jamaica's best songwriters and producers, and also Nigel Staff, who is the head of Rough Cut Band, and also a keyboard player and a lot of the legendary rhythms in reggae and dancehall music. When you think about Jap Leaf with TOK footprints, and you think about some of the legendary sounds that have come out of Jamaica, Nigel Staff has been involved, not just in the live performances with Rough Cut, but actual composition of these rhythms.
Yeah.
And all of them were saying, this is the next Omi cheerleader.
Wow.
This is the next Wayne Wonder, No Letting Go.
Wow.
I mean, these are the same people that were involved in the original track with cheerleader. So they know what they heard, and they were saying, listen, I think you need to do this. And then I had to put down my foot a bit. I was like, all right. I'm producing this track. And I respect all the feedback and everything. but I think we need to go here with it and come to a close with what we're doing with the final product. And I mean, I had that song, I've been telling people for time. I think it's one of those vulnerable songs that you wouldn't get normally in dancehall.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy that's appealing to a woman that's been hurt before.
Yeah.
And telling her, I'm that right person. But that's a story a lot of women have heard before.
Yeah.
They hear all the time. Most women will tell you, every man tell you, oh, I'm different.
I'm that guy.
And they're the same. So this guy is pleading to her. And this is a woman that's saying, she just wants to be free.
Yeah.
So it's like she can't find the balance between committing because of what's happened before.
Yeah.
And she wants to have fun with her friends and go out and party.
That trauma word.
That's it.
That trauma word is a thing. It's a thing. How do you feel? Because I know you gotta run, but you're changing lives. I feel like you're changing lives, right? I feel like as a producer, and I don't think a lot of times you guys get credit for the lives that you change, like when you put out music for people. But I believe that as a producer, and producers change lives, right? Because you guys are the people behind putting these rhythms and doing all of these things to make sure that a good body of work goes out. How do you feel that you dropped this album? It's doing the numbers and you're changing lives. Like, what is that feeling like for you?
I'm just really the vessel in that sense, or the engine. I mean, these artists are sitting down, writing, coming up with concepts. I write as well. But I don't get too much involved in changing of songs. As I said, the Alone song went through 25 drafts. I don't want to tell you how many drafts Fool It went through. You're talking about there was constant clashes between me and Grace. And she's a perfectionist and I am the same.
Yeah.
And we want the same thing and we might have different approaches to get in there. So when doing it, what people don't get is, I think the songs are made in the studio, but the hits are made with the people. So my job is always to get it in front of the people the best way, package it the best way, so that so it has the best opportunity to do what it needs to do.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
If it's not a good song, it's not leaving the studio. That if it's my project. But at the same time, a good song can go to waste if it's not packaged and promoted and put in front of the people in the correct ways. So that's just my job. So
Yeah.
as I said, that part of it, yes, it impacts and it makes changes and everything, because I become and I make myself the driving force behind these records because I believe in these records.
Yeah.
All these records are like a child.
Yeah.
So I don't love any one of them more than
More
the
than-
other. I love them all. But then all of them need to be treated and dealt with and given a different type of perspective to go forward. So
Yeah.
that's how I treat every single one of these songs and projects. And yeah, at the end of the day, as I said, ultimately we all want the same thing: the engineer, the producer,
Yes.
the artist, the person that made the artwork.
Mhm.
I acknowledge and appreciate all of them, and the DJs that play the records, the people that stream them.
Definitely.
We all want the same thing, because I'm sure anybody that listens to something and likes it, they want to make sure that the 100 or the 10 or the 5 people they recommend it to feel the same way about that record. So they want it to do well as well.
Definitely.
So that's how I believe. My job is to constantly do that, because the only way you can change the narrative is if I was a DJ, you could only play what was given to you or what's been put out, and you collect it and you play it. The only way to change that is to go in the studio and create something that you don't, you know, if you don't like what's being put out, you got to go in the studio and then change it.
Yeah. The normal
Problem
how life
solving.
should go. Problem solve. Quick fix. A quick fix. Definitely a quick fix. But Epik, I just want to say today, although I've been talking to you so much, today I learned more about you. And even in downloading your songs today, I was like, wait a minute. Because remember I said, right? I don't want to know you on the phone. And when you and Cyclone were talking, I was like, shush. I don't want to hear it. Talk about something else. Because I wanted this to be like a fresh introduction, a fresh interview, and just getting to know you as the man, the DJ, the producer, the management, the everything that you do, you know. And a lot of times people don't get to hear that about a lot of you guys. And I have decided that I'm shifting the narratives a little bit and letting people see the people behind, for lack of a better Jamaican word, behind the music. Because you guys are important. You're important. You're important teachers. A lot of people can learn from you. And there's so many people that want to work with you guys, but don't know how to get to you or how to reach you. So I'm glad that we had this conversation today. I know the album is doing great and you're doing a lot of production and promotion and all of those things on it. I don't know when you're sleeping, but you know, I hope you get some rest. I hope you get some rest. But this is go time, right? And when you have
it is.
When you have things, and I say to people all the time, when something is trending and growing, you don't stop, you don't sleep. This is when you wake and you go and you go and you go until you move on to the next thing. The work starts now. The work definitely starts now. But leave us with something positive.
My smile. Anyway, just kidding.
Epik, when's your birthday? When's your birthday, Epik?
My birthday is the 7th of November.
The what day?
7/11.
Oh, we're
7th of November.
We're in the same month.
Okay.
I'm a November girl. I'm the 28th. I'm the 28th of November.
Okay, so you're a bit further.
I get you.
Exactly.
But
so yeah,
go ahead.
As a positive note, I'd like to say, you know, for everyone out there that is trying or feeling like giving up, or you feel like you've given something your all and you have nothing more to give, there's hope. There's nothing wrong with tearing up everything that you have and starting over. And there's also nothing wrong with actually continuing to push on if you believe in it. So if you truly believe in anything that you're doing, you have to be prepared to walk a lonely world and walk a lonely road in this world in terms of getting it over the line. I mean, don't be defined by the 99 mistakes, because that one win is what changes the world and makes an improvement. So that's why I'll leave with everyone.
I like that. Epik, please give everybody your social media handles and you know who they need to reach out to. If I know I see some artists on the live, if they want to work with you, you know, just provide that information for them.
Okay, so it's Epik Jones. That's EPIK Jones, and it's Epik Jones on all social mediums. My contact info in terms of email, phone numbers listed on all the social media. So you can reach me via that route. And as I said, it's Epik Jones on all social mediums, EPIK JONES. Our website will be up soon. There's quite a lot of rules and laws that have changed in the UK, so we've had to make amendments to make sure that it's applicable to be used here. Yes, GDPR, aka data protection rules, are always updating and changing.
Yeah.
So look out for the Epik Music Group. That's EPIK musicgroup.com. It will be returning. But we're just trying to make sure that we
do the right thing. Do the right thing.
Yes, do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Epik, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, these songs are definitely available. The album is available everywhere right now. And Epik, I'm so happy that this worked out for you, because there's not a lot of producers who put their own album together, and you decided to take a chance. And it's working out. It's definitely working out. So kudos to you on that. Say hi to Spice for me, okay? All right.
Hello, I will do. Now that's Epik.
That's Epik. Thank you, Epik. Have a great night. Have a great night. Have a great night.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Big up.
One for that feeling exciting. If you get joy, join me, let's start it. Roots get bad man, me, I got it. I say fuck me, so only for them I practice. One love when you black or you white kid. Freedom, we are come with the justice. Freedom, man, I come with the justice. I say fuck me, so only for them I practice. Real love, that's up in the air. Real love, that's up in the air. That's up in the air. Real love, that's up in the air. Real love, that's up in the air. Real love, that's up in the air. That's up in the air. I think we will come down. I'll be your man. I'll be your brother. Show me something.
Michelle G, thank you so much, Epik, for that great interview. Thank you. I'm gonna restart the live. I have another interview coming up. I just gotta make a phone call and get this other interview started. But Epik, thank you. Is your media group for setting that up as well. The album is out right now. Hi, Keisha. The album is out right now, streaming on all platforms. It dropped on the 11th. Epik Jones. Really dope, very, very dope album. He decided to put all of the songs that he has produced on one album, and yeah, it's doing amazing. So kudos to him for that. Bye, guys.
Anyway, me go, you know me don't fi do me thing. Whining at the dance, on a back me does a fling. Sexy when me wind up, happy to hip them a fling. Make me cool on the ice like a lick up wing. Bend me back and shake it up right there so me no care. Bump around a back so me flash and shake me ear. In a dance me no care, all me close me tear. We cool down and leave all pan the ice like cola beer. Cool me down. Cool me down. Cool me down. I beg you cool me down because me just live like paradise. Come to me once, come to me twice. Your man love me, I mean, do I burn? Fooling with peace of eyes. My body need like the top on the dice. Come to me once, come to me twice. Your man love me, that's why it burn. Fooling with peace of eyes. Bubble pan the rhythm and I write a summit hand. Whining at the dance, so me catch it on me hand. Beat it on the rhythm like a drum in a band. So me waist a spin and it a rotate like a fan. Bubble pan the rhythm have become the bubble gum. This time must the lava cause it hotter than the sun. Me don't sing under fire in a dance to make it burn. Now me have the ice a cool it down. Cool me down. I beg you cool me down because me just a live like paradise. Come to me once, come to me twice. Your man love me, I mean know I burn. Fooling with peace of eyes. My body need like the top on the dice. Come to me once, come to me twice. Your man love me, that's why it burn. Cooling with peace of eyes. One thing me know if I move my body. Rock it to the side and I move my body. Pump a cup and me know if it and to the. Girl I watch, and my style them a study. Now I'm out of control. Make me a sweat and roll. I need something cold. I need something cold. Cool me down. I beg you cool me down because me just live like paradise. Come to me once, come to me twice. Your man love me, I mean know I burn. Fooling with peace of eyes. My body need like the top on the dice. Come to me once, come to me twice. Your man love me, that's why it burn.
Kool-Aid with Peter I.
You Epik Jones. To the girl and to light them phones. Shut the wallet. Celery Banks.
Hey yo, shut up, my thing proper. Style pan ooh, tell them y'all satta. Straight gunshot, we not deal with pasta. Tugs roll in, everything get locker. Real topper. Hot gal a road, but my thing hotter. Ghana man, them a fi me big papa. Yard man, them a the real dandada. Anyway, same to me set it. If a my man, no gal can get it. Fly out, private jet.
We don't care for them handouts, and we not like hypocrite and parasite, and we not like they are mad as an amitation, we not like niggas when they overhype, watch you where you give you a fight, so can't be in red back fight, we not like watch you come and satellite, and we not like feel like a we prefer night, and we not like y'all are coming out with sight, and then they full of strike, y'all we ugly like a bright light, but we like y'all we keep this something tight, yes that we like slapping in a candle light with over like y'all we could have be the white, y'all we step up in our life, y'all we up in the quick feel nice, and we like when I freak up on the mic, yes we like when them can't ride on the mic, and we like when them know when to take a hype, can't freak up to stay overnight. Hey, true the way we go and tell us we sex great, when it comes to loving we not tired and let y'all are get free to your try.
Yeah, with the fix Michelleg, y'all hear the song in the background, right? Y'all hear the song in the background. That means that we're about to start this interview with Spragga Benz. It's going to be a phone interview because Spragga is traveling, promoting this movie right now. So we're going to do the phone, but you can listen through the Instagram through getwiththefix.net. I am live.
So called we not like watch it come and satellite, and we not like feel like a we prefer night, and we not like y'all are coming out with sight, and then they be full of strike, y'all we ugly like a bright night, but we like y'all we keep this something tight, yes that we like.
Macclesfield, Jar the Shield, same as that. Macclesfield. Only you can see us through. Without your message, I don't know what to do.
So here on Get With The Fix for the first time, we have the one and only Spragga Benz on this phone interview today because he's a very busy man. But I appreciate you being here today. So you're doing great, correct?
Yeah, man, that is where give thanks.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know if anybody knows, if you're living under a rock and you don't know who Spragga Benz is, you've been living under a rock because he has shaped the dancehall world for years and years and years. But now Spragga has picked up acting. Well, not picked up, not now, but for about 10 years or so now, Spragga Benz has been acting in different movies. And now next week, Sunday, actually, is the premiere of Unbelievable. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really excited. I'm feeling satisfied. I'm still feeling anxious because the premiere is next week and we still have a little way going with the scoring. Not far, but we're almost there, but we're not fully there yet because we have to make changes. But I'm really excited about the project, because it's a Caribbean project then.
Right.
It's a we are doing thing, a we are telling the stories, we control the whole narrative, we control the script, the whole cast is us, we.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can you emphasize the importance of us owning our own stuff? Like, can you emphasize the importance of that?
Well, if people are aware of what's going on now and all the scandals, then we say all of the compromises that people have to do just to be a part of the other system. So just that alone, making us say, it's better to always build your own platform or your own culture, and no matter how small it starts from, at least it's yours. So when it goes, you have more leverage to who you negotiate with and what terms.
Yeah.
Business-wise. So it's always good to have control over your own affairs because that's the only way you can actually trade fairly in the marketplace, respectfully with somebody else who have their own thing.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, your production company, Red Square Productions, is also directing this film. Like, how did you even decide to go into moving from music into now having your own production company? Like, what was that decision?
Well, it's all a part of wanting to be independent, to tell our own stories and build our own platform. So that is the whole idea of the mission. So seeing that I played a role in movies before, and at the end of the day, it was the bigger companies that own all the rights to everything that we did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we were the ones that did all the work. So I'm saying, let's just try to be, self-reliant and self-sufficient. And if we have a dream and we see that person down the road in a mansion, and we want a mansion, okay, let's start from a little hut.
Yeah.
And then we can expand on that until we reach mansion 2. Because we don't reach mansion stage yet.
Yeah.
But we can be a hut.
Yeah.
So this is us building the hut right now until we expand.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, you've been doing music for a very long time. We all can recite all of your songs as Caribbean kids, and your songs are still playing on different platforms, different DJs, everywhere, parties, everywhere. How have you ensured that your music continue to live on? How has Spragga Benz ensured that happened?
Well, from the inception, from creating in the process, we try for do things that would be substantial and to tell the stories in a thorough way that people can have an understanding of what I'm trying to say from the beginning to the end, without straying from the topic. Have a consistent story. So I guess that is what people tend to gravitate to because they can remember how the story is supposed to go from the song start. Instead of just a bunch of rhymes that them probably can't even put together the rhymes. But I remember some of the funny ones. Yeah, some of just really want to have the funny rhymes, more of a substantial. The substantial content.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, you are also one of those people on social media who is very, very outspoken about the system and the different things that they're trying to force on us, and all of those things. And you've lost your Instagram page several times, but you continue to be that force that is trying to wake us all up as to what's going on. Do you feel that will or has hindered you from, like, let's say doing a Hollywood movie or anything like that? Or that's why Red Square production is so important?
Right, exactly. You hit the nail on the head. That's why Red Square production is so important because I don't want to have to compromise who I am, and your inspiration just because I want to be a part of a production.
Yeah.
Keep the production.
Yeah.
I make my own production that can tell the story that I see and that the vision that the Most High Creator is putting in me, as opposed to going over there to appease them and be a part of that and play that role just to play some roles in some production that stray us from reality and from truth.
Yeah.
And condition our minds to a certain programming. Just for my wealth, and then even when I do get that wealth, I still can't come back and share it with people. So it doesn't make no sense to get the wealth. So might as well just build our own thing, tell our own stories, and that's the wealth right there. To know that we tell our own stories, we do it, and our people feel good about it.
Yeah, definitely. Why is it so? Because a lot of the actors that the actors that you work with are definitely of Caribbean background, Jamaican. Why do you feel that is the necessary part, and why do you feel that you were the person to make sure that Jamaicans are being shown in a different light? Because it's not just about music. There's other things that people in Jamaica are doing.
Yeah. I'm not just Jamaica. I want it to be all the way, a Caribbean diaspora and people and the wider, you know, and the wider outskirts as well, because too many times me I watch a film and the Caribbean person played by somebody of a different ethnicity. Why couldn't they get a Caribbean person? Why couldn't they get a Trinidad person or a Jamaican person? Why you get somebody a fake accent, a fake look for a whole movie? Why couldn't you just get one away?
Yeah.
We're not worth it. We can't get a pay. So, you know, them kind of thing. The honor him more time, may I get up and walk out the theater. Me even see that part at the start. So, you know, and we have so much talent.
Yeah.
And we have so much people because you take up any Caribbean youth or girl and put them in front of the camera and have a star.
Yeah.
More than you even expect. The things that them start doing. You want the camera charge them up. You know? Yeah, man.
I love it.
We are natural.
Yeah.
So we just want to be one of them who can try to put the opportunities out there for somehow shine. Because some people who we use who in the movies, you know, sometimes when them virgin them see them, not knowing that them have that in them. Yo, are you with that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
We don't want to restrict that to Jamaica. We want to spread it throughout the world Caribbean kind of movement.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Now, in this movie, Unbelievable, there from the clips that we've been seeing, it's so much. How do you say? What's the proper word? It's so much. Like you've shown in that clip the trauma that relationships experience from the loss of several children. You show the trauma that a relationship can endure through deciding that you're going to take some space away and let that woman process whatever she's going through by the loss of a child. You've shown love. Also, you've shown friendship in just that little one clip that you guys have put out. Can we talk a little bit about the aspect of the trauma in relationships when things like that happen in regards to this movie?
Yes, you can speak on it because trauma is real, and that is what we're trying to highlight, real life situations in ways that people can even find an outlet from watching the movie to know that, oh, maybe not the only person that got through this. And yeah, we think of me alone. You know, them kind of moments that we want to capture in a movie as well, because somebody for loss a child, loss of a loved one, and even the breakup of a relationship or a friendship. You know, these things move with.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't really talk about them or address them in a ways where realistic to us and unique to us, you know, as Caribbean people. Because sometimes we kind of shun these topics. You have cancer, nobody know how to talk about that.
Yes,
but you know, we need to discuss this thing. What should lose up there? Adapt them. You know, these things we need to discuss more because they're real things.
Yeah.
But we have to do it in a light way where we are not too much stress already. So we don't want to come on crying. So we have to talk about the things, but we have to talk about it in light ways.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to do in the movie as well.
Yeah, definitely. Now the concept, when you guys decided to sit down and do this movie, like what was that planning process like? And who said, you know what, it's time. We just did Second Chance. It's time now to do something else. Give the people them something else.
Well, this is a collaborative effort between Top Notch Vision, Cleon James, and Red Square Production. And Cleon is a writer, director, and is a movie man from St. James. So me and him met up when he was doing a movie called Green Card.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and that's when me and Cleon, and he approached me, say, my yard want to, he like the movie business and more, he like shutters and the role of Cleon and more come, I say, let's start to look on the thing where I want to say, we can build.
Yeah.
Build in direction. So, we play a role, and from there, I say, all right, me like in direction and me like how the possibilities there that we can tell the stories because I'm have the ideas on one side, movie and writing, me have the ideas and connections on one side with with getting cast, getting the music and scoring. I know. So we have so many stories to tell. So, top notch vision and rescue production say, okay, let's do this. Let's just join together and let's just try to make as many of our stories and highlight as many of our stars as we can.
Yeah.
And we do it in a consistent way.
Yeah.
That while the platform build, we can continue to build a catalog as well.
Yeah.
So every year we try to make some. Next year we'll move the next movie already in a pipeline. One by that. So we're trying to keep abreast of ourselves and consistently do what we set out to do.
I love all of it. Growing up listening to your music and still listening to your music today, not a lot of artists get to do what you're doing, right? In the aspect of even while you're still doing music, you have this catalog that somebody can create a whole mixtape of all of your music and play it. But now you're doing this acting. You've moved on to doing the acting and continue to progress and push forward your culture and yourself and your people all at the same time. How do you feel when you look yourself in the mirror, right? Because I like to ask the mirror questions. When you look yourself in the mirror and see that you've been here for this amount of time and still progressive, what do you say to yourself?
Stop procrastinating.
You don't give me that, Spragga. You never give me procrastination, but okay.
That was a true. You stop procrastinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I love that. Now this movie has a soundtrack also to it. And from the regular movies that we see here in the US and that type of stuff, there's always a soundtrack attached. But I don't remember seeing so many Caribbean movies that do have soundtracks. They may have some songs or whatever the case may be. Why did you guys decide to do a whole folk soundtrack for this movie?
For this one, I'm not saying we're gonna do a full soundtrack. That would be what idea. That was the original idea for Refract, which is my musician just sit and express himself. Refract is a master musician. He plays with Steve Marley, he plays keyboard in Steve Marley's band. No, but Refract is a friend of mine that we've been moving through the music ranks for years. So this is supposed to be his opportunity to show how much of a Tchaikovsky he is, Yeah, guy was supposed to show now in classical side.
Yeah.
After doing it now, and Korean, I think he make a submission, like a pre-submission to some of the platforms. So we kind of have to use right now still until we get to what comes here, you have to forget sometimes. So it seemed like again on this one we'll have to change the format of the scoring to not so much be so much of a soundtrack with different tracks, but more of a vibe, music, accompaniment.
Yeah.
I want to forget the message.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Accompanying emotional sounds and stuff. And probably a few songs, not many, but just accompaniment of mood music.
Yeah. Yeah, but because the goal and what I got from it is that the goal is to get to those bigger platforms so that they take you guys seriously and understand that look, this is
you have to give and take,
Yeah.
Because we don't want to compromise our culture.
Yes. Yeah.
But we need to get on a wider.
Yeah.
A wider marketplace. So we have to compromise. So music, you say you want music that you can easily. It's more palatable then.
Yeah.
So okay, we can do that. But the story have to be real.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Now, this movie the premiere is going to be in Florida. October 27th. And can I tell you how my ticket is bought? My hotel is booked. I'm there.
Goodbye, because it's not a limited venue, you know.
Yeah.
And it got a one showing. So the earlier catch word in this, in this situation.
Yeah, definitely. So where can people actually go to get tickets right now for the movie? Where can they go to get tickets?
Well, they can go online to if they go on Instagram, they can go to my page, Spragga Benz 3, and the link is in the bio.
Okay.
And unbelievable movie. TN online and Instagram, you can get it there as well. You can go to Ticketmaster, I think.
Okay.
And type in the movie name. But it's available online.
Okay.
Just go on our page, man. The link is in the bio.
Yeah, definitely. When is there any plans to put it on the big screen like Netflix, Tubi, all of those places?
Yeah,
Prime.
that definitely for me not the intention. Because we now make a secret, we make a movie. People have to see it. We're gonna try and make it for ourselves. So all of the platforms in that we can use, exploit all of them to the fullest. So the last one, Second Chance, we actually had it showing in the theaters in Jamaica. So this one we wanted to at least do that, repeat that, and expand that as well. Probably take it to some of the theaters in the Caribbean. But we do a lot of premieres in different cities, and that is how we kind of get it out there for now. So after the premieres and the different cities can get a chance to do the red carpet and the meet and greet and question and answers, then we're thinking to take it to one of those other outlets like Amazon Prime or Netflix or so forth, which we already submitted to them. So it's also to wait and see what their reactions are.
Okay, nice. I like that. Now I know that is like one of those processes that most people are like probably expecting for it to happen right away. Because a lot of times people don't know what it takes to even be a Caribbean production company, a Caribbean director, producer, and all of these things, and then try to get to those platforms. Can you talk a little bit about the process, not the whole process, but give some idea of what it takes for someone to even get their movies to Netflix and Tubi and Prime and those things?
Well, nowadays I'm not really so 100 on what the criteria is, but I know that you need to have a good product with at least a quality that they set to their standards. And if you have a decent legal representative who can submit it to them directly, other than you trying to send it directly, it just be put in file 13. That will help.
Okay.
Otherwise, their ears are to the ground. These people, these companies are representatives out there in the street looking for the next hot thing as well.
Yeah.
So you just confident in yourself and do it. You put it up on YouTube, you never know, they might contact you.
Yeah.
Because you have built up that momentum amongst your own grassroots. So we're willing to go do it as well. Because by any means necessary,
Yeah, definitely. Why did you guys choose Florida to do the movie premiere? Why is Florida significant to this movie premiere?
Okay, we shot this one in Florida as well, up in the city of Miramar. So Miramar invited us. They opened their arms to us. They opened all the facilities that we might need and gave us an infrastructure that we needed to make the movie look, competitive in the marketplace then.
Okay.
So on that note, we started fitting to say, okay, giving back to Miramar.
Yeah.
And let this be the first place that it is actually shown, because they contributed so much that even the commissioner of Miramar played a role as well.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so we It's a connection, it's a good connection with the city. They embrace us, we embrace them.
Nice, nice. So are we going to be seeing it over this side? Because I'm in New Jersey, right? So are we going to be seeing it over New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, this side of the tri-state? Okay, okay.
We did for second chance,
Yes.
we did Miami, we did New York, Queens, we did Boston, we did Atlanta, we did Jamaica. So we definitely look forward to doing those and adding even the UK and Canada and California as well, and the Caribbean, few islands, Barbados, Trinidad. So step by step.
Step by step.
We're getting there.
Step by step, definitely step by step.
Support. We really help and support them. We do this dance for moments like this.
Yeah. Yeah. When this opportunity was presented to me, I said, Spragga Benz, are you serious? What is the conversation? Like, you know how long I've been wanting to talk to Spragga Benz? Like, Spragga? Like, are you serious? Let's do this. Let's do this. But I just want to say, Spragga, I don't know if people tell you thank you. But I want to say thank you for being that pillar in music, to have us dancing in parties and thinking about the different things that's going on in the world and how we can make a difference, and all of those types of things as children, as adults and everything. I'm not olding you. I'm not making you old. I'm not aging you.
No, we give thanks every day, for real, we're willing to share that at times. We have so many friends.
Yeah.
It's right.
Yeah.
So give thanks, man.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing before you go though, I wanted to ask you, because I made a post today and they tried to take my Instagram away from me, just like they did with you several times. And the post was basically stating that by 2025, women will no longer need men because they're going to have relationships with robots.
Yeah. And they want to blackball it for that.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, they don't. It's a crime to have an opinion, especially an educated opinion.
Yeah.
But we still have to just continue to see me because at me it's in the same internet to come out what I'm use and corrupt and distort. I see an internet you have to use and clarify and unify.
Yeah.
So let's just see a knife or stick shape. I see a knife or stick goat. I hate this.
Yeah.
You just continue, no matter who want ban, no matter who want bar, no matter who want blacklist, no matter who want. If one person see your post, one person you highlight something to for them to think about.
Yeah.
So that's something you look upon it, no matter what. You can't take my page on my platform.
Right.
You gotta say it another way, you gotta find another way. And even if for one person you limit who can shut a band, you still have to talk to them.
Yeah.
Because this is a purpose. The purpose is not really. We're there for make we're gains in life, yes. I'm not upon it to worship, we're work.
Yeah.
So we're working brilliant, we don't work for just charity alone. But that is not the only reason for working. There's a greater cause over all of them, because there's a greater power that would work, but the power feed the plant them and feed the bird them and make the tree grow and everything in life sustain.
Yeah.
So, make that power be your first.
Definitely.
Your first respect.
Definitely. Now, even your voice, Spragga, I want to say to you that even your voice on Instagram is a problem because they already cut off my live. But that's okay because I'm streaming on other platforms and this interview is being recorded, so it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Your voice, I didn't even realize how powerful of a man your voice triggers the algorithms. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I watch that. Just make sure that the words of their mouth and meditation of their heart, the action of your good as well to be acceptable to the Most High.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Why should people go out and see Unbelievable? Tell them why it's necessary for them to be in the building, and everywhere this movie goes, they should be in the building. Tell them why.
According to the feedback where the ladies they want to give just on the tree, they must say effective. I don't know what that means. But
it means it's happening, Spragga. It's the thing. It's the thing. It's the thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that goes, come join the festivities. One and all, because it's serious. It's serious. Yeah, it's serious. That's all we can say. Being in the building, anyway, we get the opportunity to support it.
Definitely, definitely. I will be there with Lexi, a legend. She's in the movie, and she invited me to come, so I will definitely be there next week, in Florida, to be there for the premiere. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to all of this.
Is gonna be there.
Yeah.
I got that is gonna be there also to make sure that it's a good vibe.
Yeah.
And it's represented well.
Yeah, definitely. How can someone, if there's a lot of people out here who are acting and those types of things, how can someone get to Red Square Production? Like, how could they get to Red Square Production to be in an upcoming movie? How does that happen?
Well, nowadays, modern world, everything is just technology, So just jump in on the DM.
Okay.
Send a link and Red Square Productions just there online. I can send it directly to me. It's Spragga Benz 3. I'm too busy for it one time. And we can direct it to who would more be able to assist. Who can give the information we seek as far as the DSR can tell you better if these are the characters that we're looking for right now. But definitely can keep you on file to know that whenever we, while the production, we can reach out as well.
Okay.
So just link up, man. Just don't be ashamed to DM us. We don't take it personal.
Definitely, definitely. So Spragga, again, I want to say thank you for being here today. I know you're very busy, but please let everybody know where they can go get these tickets for this premiere next week Sunday. Let's just please let them know what platforms they can go at.
Well, I'm not so familiar with that platform, but I can tell you that they can go to my bio, links in bio. That thing with the man is a link in bio. If you go to the links in my bio, I'm definitely sure that the link is there that you can purchase the tickets right there. Spragga Benz 3. Yeah, definitely sure of that.
Definitely, definitely. So Spragga, I'm looking forward to this movie. Just the clip alone has me excited. Like you said, the ladies are saying it's very festive. It's always good. What's the proper word to call you? Not eye candy. Maybe eye candy. We'll call you eye candy. But as the girls call you eye candy, I'm sure you've heard that before. Just because, again, you encompass the figure that a lot of young girls look up to as being that man that they would want in their corner. Your face features are just perfect. I'm bragging about you now, Spragga. Your face features your face features are perfect. You're a great dad. You're a great person. Overall, you teach us a lot on social media, whether we want to hear it or not. You're teaching it to us. So your music speaks volumes, and you're doing this acting thing and doing a massive, great job at it. So I just want to say, for all the Caribbean girls, we thank you for being our eye candy, and for being the great man that you are.
Give thanks, yeah. Blessings are man. I don't know what this is, but give thanks.
Thank you, Spragga. So, guys, this Sunday, Unbelievable is premiering at Miramar in Florida. This Sunday. What time is the premiere, Spragga? What time?
I think it's at 4.
4 p.m.
4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Red carpet and all of that's happening first. And then, meet and greet, and they were going. I think the movie actually starts at 6.
Okay.
But it's at the Miramar Cultural Center. And, we're looking forward. City Hall, Miramar, if you don't know which part, City Hall, Miramar. that is the place to be.
That's the place to be. Spragga?
The 27th.
The 27th. Yes, definitely. Yes. Thank you so much, Spragga, for taking the time out of your schedule. And I'll see you on Sunday.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Blessed.
Best. Get the fix, Michelle G. That was Spragga Benz. I'm glad actually we didn't get to do the interview on Instagram because his voice, the algorithm threw it out. My live is gone. So I'm actually glad that we didn't get to do it on Instagram because they would have taken him out. It's really a powerful source when your voice messes up Instagram algorithm and they want you off. So shout out to Ease Your Media Group, Cyclone, for making that happen. This Sunday in Florida, the premiere of Unbelievable will be happening. And as Spragga said, they will be bringing it to New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Jamaica, and all over the Caribbean. So thank you guys. I am Michelle G. Have a great evening. All
right. DND. Friend. Check it again. All right. Friday. DND. In the end. What's your friend, yeah? Tell you again. What is it's Spragga Benz and Fickle and a friend it too easy for them. Fickle and a friend it too easy for them. Fickle and a friend it too easy for them. So don't a kill a town me and leave it to them. Fickle and a friend it too easy for them. Fickle and a friend it too easy for them. Fickle and a friend it too easy for them. So don't a kill a me and leave it to them. Oh, you don't the same town and the same street. I know you see them face frown when your eyes meet. Cause them blame you for what went down. I know you do it and them know the real truth. But them playing blind to it. So far you know them not have very far to go. Comfortable in a cycle and no progressive action. Every action bring an opposite and equal reaction. To kill another friend it's too easy for them. To kill another friend it's too easy for them. To kill another friend it's too easy for them. So don't not kill a town me and leave it to them. Spragga Benz one time. See them. We see them from far, we see them clear. Them can't get near. I saw the things they do. Some violent style. Cha-cha. Sorry for my God, him right, yo. So you feed him, you text him, love him, not people like you. Sorry for my God, you get bite up. And I always the one with the most means, always so bright up. We know they are. We see them from afar. Yeah, we know they are. Watch them now, I worship house, I worship yard. We know they are. I'm trying to perpetrate war. Yeah, we know they are. Yeah, tell about them. Come up, smile and shake we and what's in the mouth. Them full of grudge and better let go with them hypocrite love. We burn a fire upon them and them in the critic club. Them off to run with them hypocrite love. Again, smile and shake we and what's in the mouth. Them full of grudge and better let go with them hypocrite love. Burn a fire upon them and them in the critic club. Them better run with them hypocrite love. Tell why. And up for them a boy like them a bonny fight. When we flip the script, them and not about a phony guy. Pull up a time them war and sign the beat and keep the dance and have them teeth and try to kill you when they're drunk and feel at ease. Not for them no life we have to smile up with you in the rear. Nothing with machine come on to bust it on them every day. Over there so them feel here with them guide them on the play. Rubber tire feel like a guy and try to talk time back to your car. We know they are. Yeah, we know they are. We know they are. We know that. Yeah, we know they are. When you know them a day, you don't need life to see them in a night. We a fight a revolution, but with them a fight literally. Higher than them cause when they up on a flight. We know them uneducated, so come them surprise. Mama say left them to time, not everyone I can forgive. Man, I'm no remote city people who don't want to me live. Before them cross the river, enough for them burn down the bridge. Wish things never turn out this way, but it is what it is, yo. We know that. Our place, yes, Paragon. For the space. That way I tell them.